Now we're going to look at gland arrangements and sealing. We've talked a little bit about mechanical seals already, but we're going to start off with an old-fashioned packed gland. Some of you may have seen these, but you don't see them very commonly in this day and age because nearly everybody supplies pumps with mechanical seals. But how does a packed gland work? There's a picture of a packed gland, and here you can see your shaft. And here you can see your shaft sleeve, and here you can see 3 rings of packing. That packing material is actually a lubricated rope in a square section, and that is put inside the stuffing box. So this area here is known as the stuffing box. Shaft sleeve, lantern ring. The lantern ring is there to allow lubrication to the packed gland. So we've got a line here which connects back to the pump discharge, okay? And that feeds a pressurized water feed into the lantern ring, which allows water to move in both directions to keep the gland cool and lubricated. So a packed gland must in fact leak. If you've got a packed gland that you don't see 1 or 2 drips a second from, it's overtight and it's likely to burn the shaft sleeve. And the gland plate, you can see that we've got compression bolts there. We can actually screw those compression bolts in to increase the load on the packing. But don't overload the packing, otherwise you will close the gap completely and there'll be no lubrication. The technique is usually a 1/4 of a turn and then let the pump settle down and see whether it leaks. If it's too much, give it another 1/4 of a turn and so on. The sleeves protect the shaft from damage. The shaft may be 1/2 metre long, 1 metre long, and it's machined and threaded and got various keyways cut in it. So that's a complicated piece of equipment. The shaft sleeve is just a cylinder, and it's relatively easy to make a new shaft sleeve. So we fit a shaft sleeve to avoid damage to the shaft itself, and if repair is necessary, we've got a relatively simple component to replace. That's what happens if we over-tighten the gland. You can see that the packing itself embeds and wears and damages the surface of the shaft sleeve. So close inspection of the shaft sleeve can determine whether you can just skim it, or you may be able to metal spray it, or if it's so badly damaged, you have to discard it and fit a new one. Hell of a lot cheaper than a new shaft. So here's a typical installation of a packed gland, and you can see this is a slightly different configuration with a different number of packing rings. That's a design feature of a particular pump supplier. And then you can see the gland packing, the lantern ring. This is an axially split case pump, and obviously we've got 2 glands, one either side of the impeller. And again, with a lantern ring in between. There are a number of packed gland options to deal with higher temperatures, or if we need a barrier fluid, and we can go through some of those. This is an external flush arrangement, and you can see that we're not using product that the pump is pumping. We're using an external flush, and it might be water. In a packed gland it usually is, but it could be oil, it could be grease. There are other ways of lubricating the gland depending on the application. And then we can have a situation where we're pumping with high temperatures. It's hot inside here, so this area is going to get hot unless we quench it with a cooling liquid, usually water.